Batman Arkham Asylum has one of the best and creepiest designs in any superhero game. From the intensive treatment ward all the way to the botanical gardens, the atmosphere is just downright unsettling. But before we get into that, let me give you a bit of context. It's been almost 14 years since Arkham Asylum released, and after 2 sequels, a prequel, and an upcoming spin-off game, the impact of this game is still being felt today. I could talk about how great this series is, but let's be honest, you already know. This video will probably contain spoilers for the entire game, so if you haven't played it yet, watch the video anyway because you've already had your chance. I wasn't even 5 years old when Asylum released, but I distinctly remember putting in my DVD of The Dark Knight and seeing a trailer for a brand new Batman game. I hadn't played any other Batman games up until this point because I was 4, what do you expect? But I knew that this was something that I needed to get my hands on. And one fateful day, my dad rang the house phone and asked if I wanted to get this new game. And obviously, I said yes. He got home, we put in the disc, and I couldn't believe how cool the game seemed just from the intro alone. I was absolutely fascinated by this art style, and I knew that this was going to be a game that I'd love every second of. You can probably guess what I did for the next few months. I stopped playing the game for over a year because I got stuck on the elevator section. However, after I came back to the game, I was determined to beat it once and for all. But during my playthrough, I noticed how eerie and unsettling the atmosphere of the game was. The intensive treatment ward is probably one of the most unsettling areas in the entire game. I love the dank and dirty hallways mixed in with the hospital-esque lighting. It really gives the area a haunting aura. A small detail in here that I think really adds to it is these door flap things that are covered in blood. I like that it's kept vague on whether this comes from the violence of the inmates or the Arkham staff mistreating the patients. It definitely leads your imagination to wonder what actually happened here. Moving on to what many would consider to be the most intense and scary section of Asylum, Killer Croc's lair. Croc mauling Scarecrow, something that you see impacting Scarecrow and his design all the way into night, is a great opener to the level, and it definitely establishes how serious of a physical threat Croc is. The section is so tense not only thanks to the cat and mouse game that you play with Croc, but the design itself. This section of the sewer has clearly not been used for a very long time, and is still filled with hanging, potentially human carcasses. Although I know many don't like the more monstrous, cannibalistic characterization of Croc, it definitely makes him more intimidating, and I really enjoy the fact that he is the reason why Aaron Cash is missing a hand. Speaking of Croc, I have to talk about how much I love his design. His dark green reptilian skin contrasts really well with his glowing yellow eyes, and his imposing stature makes him truly terrifying. I also really like the voice acting for Croc. It matches the design really well and it makes him sound incredibly creepy. Okay, I'll talk about Scarecrow. So, if we're talking about Arkham Asylum and the word creepy, it'd be criminal not to mention the Scarecrow sections. These often came out of nowhere and are really creative. They break up the gameplay loop pretty well as giving us one of the most iconic fourth wall breaks in history. The panic that set in when I first encountered this was wild. I thought I'd somehow broken both my dad's TV and his PS3, so I'm glad that didn't happen. If you guys are afraid of liminal spaces like the back rooms, you have to try exploring Arkham Island after you've beaten the game. All of the thugs and the NPCs are completely missing and it's so unnerving. You almost get a feeling of being watched. The patient interview tapes were another great addition to the game. A cool collectible that was both appropriate for the setting and gave some nice background for the more hardcore fans. These could also be pretty creepy too. One that I found particularly memorable was the interviews that were conducted with the serial killer Victor Zsasz. Really unnerving stuff. For real though, the scariest part of this game is that weird ass child model that they have for Bruce Wayne. What is that about? That is absolutely horrifying. Look at this. What happened? While I do enjoy the blue tones of Arkham City and the neon lights of Gotham in night, nothing quite compares to the design and heavy atmosphere that you'll find in Asylum. If you haven't played this game before, or even if it's just been a while, I recommend giving this game another go and paying more attention to the architecture and overall vibe. You definitely won't regret it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you're new here, welcome. I hope you find more content that you enjoy, and if we don't see each other again, I wish you well. And for my long-term viewers, thank you for sticking with me. It really means the world. All of your support over the last year has been insane, and I never actually thought that I'd reach 1,000 subscribers. It's wild. This isn't scripted if you couldn't tell, so I'm speaking to you directly. Yeah, it's been a crazy few months. I got a new job and I've been so busy. This is my first full-time job, so I'm just working out personal life stuff at the same time, but I'm going to try and start working on more videos again. I think this one's been really helpful in getting me to be more motivated. So anyway, done with this long outro. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you want to see more.